Hello! Plantain is one of the most well-known medicinal plants in the world. Almost everyone has at least once placed a plantain leaf on a scratch or a scraped knee. For some people, it is a trusted remedy. For others, it is just an old folk myth. But what does modern science say? In this video, we will look at which properties of plantain are supported by research and which ones mostly come from traditional use. You will learn why scientists still study this plant, how the leaves differ from the seeds, when plantain may be useful, and when it is better to avoid it. Let's start with the main point. Plantain is neither a miracle cure nor a useless weed. The truth is somewhere between these two extremes. Over the past few decades, scientists have studied its composition in detail. They found dozens of biologically active compounds. These include vitamins, minerals, polyphenols, flavonoids, tannins, mucilage polysaccharides, and other natural substances. But the presence of useful compounds does not mean that a plant can treat diseases. This is one of the most common mistakes. For example, if scientists find that a compound shows interesting effects in a laboratory, it does not mean it will have the same effect inside the human body. Research usually starts in a test tube. Then scientists test the results in animals. After that, clinical studies with people may begin. Only when all stages confirm both effectiveness and safety can doctors recommend a new treatment. That is why modern medicine evaluates medicinal plants much more carefully than folk medicine usually does. So why did plantain attract researchers in the first place? At first glance, it looks like an ordinary herb growing near roads, paths, and meadows. But chemical analysis shows that its composition is much more complex than it seems. Plantain leaves contain mucilage polysaccharides. These compounds help explain why plantain has traditionally been used for throat irritation. When they come into contact with water, they turn into a thick, sticky substance. When this infusion touches the mucous membrane of the throat, it can form a thin, protective layer. This may reduce dryness, tickling, and irritation. But this does not mean that plantain kills viruses or bacteria. It may temporarily ease symptoms, but it does not remove the cause of the illness. That is why plantain infusion should not replace treatment prescribed by a doctor.
Professional medical treatment.
Another group of compounds actively studied by scientists is flavonoids. These are natural compounds with antioxidant activity. During normal metabolism, the body constantly produces free radicals. This is a normal process. But when there are too many of them, cells may become damaged faster.
Illustrates the constant balance of healthy
help the
human
body
cells
maintain
and
balance.
naturally produced
That
free
is why
radicals in the
researchers are
body's
interested
tissues.
in plants that contain these compounds. But again, we should not jump to conclusions. Antioxidant activity in a laboratory does not mean a proven healing effect in humans. The human body is much more complex than any laboratory model. Another interesting group of compounds is tannins. They give many plants their slightly astringent taste. These substances can interact with proteins on the surface of the skin and mucous membranes, forming a thin protective film. This is one reason plantain was used for many centuries on minor skin injuries. However, modern recommendations differ from old folk advice. A fresh leaf picked outside cannot be considered sterile. Its surface may contain bacteria, fungi, soil particles, and other contaminants. That is why doctors do not recommend applying untreated leaves to open wounds. With any injury, the first step is to clean the damaged area of skin. Only after that should safe wound care products be used. Plantain seeds are just as interesting as the leaves. Their composition is very different, and their main feature is a high amount of soluble fiber. When this fiber comes into contact with water, it quickly absorbs liquid and forms a thick gel. This property has made plantain seeds popular in nutrition. You may have heard the name psyllium. Psyllium is the husk of the seeds from certain species of plantain. It is widely used as a source of soluble dietary fiber. Once it reaches the intestines, this fiber absorbs water and softens the contents of the bowel.
This visualization
As a result,
demonstrates how
they
soluble
move through the
fiber,
digestive
once
tract
hydrated,
more easily.
allows for gentle
But
and
that is
smooth
not its
peristaltic
only
movement.
role. Soluble fiber also serves as food for beneficial gut bacteria. As these bacteria break down the fiber, they produce short-chain fatty acids. These compounds help maintain the normal lining of the intestine and provide
As we track
energy
along
for
the
the
healthy
cells
tissue,
that make up
notice
the
how the
intestinal
short-chain
wall.
fatty acids are readily absorbed,
This is one reason
providing
why
essential
getting
nourishment
enough
to the
dietary
vibrant
fiber is
enterocytes.
considered an important part of a healthy diet. However, there is one rule that many people forget. Soluble fiber should always be taken with enough water. Without adequate fluids, it may cause bloating, discomfort, or make bowel movements more
This
difficult
comparison
instead of
highlights the
easier.
importance of water.
That is why
Hydrated
drinking
fiber
enough
moves
water is an
smoothly,
essential
while
part
dense,
of using
compact
psyllium
fiber struggles
correctly.
to navigate the bowel.
Now let's return to the leaves. Besides mucilage and flavonoids, they also contain tannins. These compounds give plantain its slightly bitter, astringent taste. Tannins can bind to proteins on the surface of tissues and form a thin protective layer. This is one reason why people traditionally placed fresh plantain leaves on minor cuts, scrapes, and insect bites. Today, doctors recommend a different approach. A freshly picked leaf is not sterile. Its surface may carry bacteria, fungi, soil particles, and other contaminants. If you place such a leaf on an open
Soil
wound,
particles and
you may
microbes
introduce
cling
harmful
to the waxy
microorganisms
cuticle
into
of
the
leaf,
damaged tissue.
forming a complex
For that reason,
microbial ecosystem.
modern medical advice is simple. First, rinse the wound with clean water. If necessary, treat it with an appropriate antiseptic. Then, use wound care products whose safety and effectiveness have been properly evaluated. Plantain has also attracted attention because of its possible effects on digestion. Its leaves contain bitter compounds. When these
Here
compounds
we see the
stimulate the
precise
taste
mechanism
receptors
by
on the
which
tongue,
the taste
the
receptors
body
detect
receives a
bitterness,
signal that food is
sending
coming.
immediate signals
As a
along
result,
the neural pathways.
saliva production increases and the stomach begins releasing digestive juices. This prepares the digestive system for a meal. That is why plantain juice was traditionally taken before eating.
Making it the perfect
However,
start to this
this does not
wholesome
mean that
breakfast
plantain
spread.
can treat stomach diseases. If someone experiences persistent stomach pain, heartburn, blood in the stool, unexplained weight loss, or other warning signs, herbal remedies should never replace proper medical evaluation. These symptoms require an accurate diagnosis and appropriate treatment. Modern medicine views plantain as a plant with an interesting chemical composition, not as a universal cure for digestive disorders. This evidence-based approach helps separate scientific facts from traditional beliefs. There is another reason to be careful when collecting plantain. The plant absorbs substances from its environment. If it grows near busy roads, industrial areas, or waste sites, it may accumulate heavy metals and other contaminants along with beneficial compounds. Many people believe that washing the leaves solves the problem. Unfortunately, it does not. Washing removes dirt from the surface, but it cannot remove substances that have already entered the plant tissues. That is why the place where plantain is collected is just as important as the plant itself. If you choose to use medicinal plants, it is better to collect them in clean environments or buy products from manufacturers that carefully monitor the quality of their raw materials.
Another common question is this: if plantain contains so many beneficial compounds, why don't doctors prescribe it instead of medication? The answer is straightforward. Finding biologically active compounds in a plant does not automatically make it a proven medicine. Before any treatment becomes part of medical guidelines, it must go through years of careful research. Scientists first need to show that it works. Then they must prove that it is safe. They also have to determine the correct dose, identify possible side effects, and understand how it interacts with other medications. Only after completing all of these steps can a treatment become part of routine medical practice. This is why researchers continue studying plantain. Some of its traditional uses have
The
scientific
investigation
support.
continues into the
Others still
therapeutic
require
properties of
stronger
the Plantago
evidence.
major,
That
or
cautious
common
approach may
plantain
seem
leaf.
slow, but it protects patients from false claims and unrealistic expectations. There is another common misconception.
Many people believe
This
that
meadow is
anything
home to
natural must
powerful
also be
healers,
completely safe.
like the vibrant
Unfortunately,
echinacea
that is
and
not
the
always
soothing
true.
chamomile.
Every medicinal plant contains biologically active compounds that interact with the human body. In many cases, they are well tolerated, but that does not mean they are suitable for everyone. Plantain is no exception. People who are allergic to plantain should avoid using it. Although allergic reactions are uncommon, they can still occur. Symptoms may include itching, skin rash, redness, watery eyes, or other signs of an allergic response. If these symptoms appear after using plantain, it is best to stop using it and seek medical advice. There is another situation that deserves attention. Plantain leaves contain vitamin K, which plays an important role in normal blood clotting. For most healthy people, this is simply part of normal physiology. However, people taking medications that affect blood clotting should discuss the use of herbal products with their healthcare provider. This recommendation applies not only to plantain, but also to many other medicinal plants. Another factor is the quality of the raw material itself. Traditional medicine often recommends freshly picked leaves. However, the composition of the plant depends on where and how it grows. The amount of vitamins, minerals, and other compounds can vary depending on the soil, climate, rainfall, harvest time, and storage conditions. As a result, two plantain plants collected from different locations may not have exactly the same composition. This is one reason why people sometimes report different experiences after using the same plant. The difference may not be in the plant itself, but in the quality of the material that was collected. There is another important point that is often
Modern
overlooked.
research often studies
Many
individual
scientific studies
compounds
focus
rather
not on
than
the whole plant, but on individual compounds extracted from it. Researchers try to identify which specific substance is responsible for a particular biological effect. This helps them understand how that compound works and whether it may have future medical applications. Even when laboratory results look promising, developing a new medicine takes many years. Scientists must confirm effectiveness. They must demonstrate safety. They must determine the correct dosage and evaluate possible interactions with other treatments. Only then can a new medicine become part of evidence-based healthcare. That is why we should always be cautious when we hear claims that a single plant can cure dozens of diseases. Science moves step by step. It does not make conclusions before the evidence is strong enough. Plantain remains an interesting subject of research because many questions have not yet been fully answered. Some of its traditional uses are becoming better supported by scientific evidence. Others still require further investigation. If we look at the overall picture, the conclusion is quite simple. Plantain is not a miracle cure, but it is not a useless weed either. It is a plant with a complex chemical composition that continues to attract scientific attention. Some of its properties are supported by modern research, others are still being studied. The most reasonable approach is to avoid both extremes. Do not expect plantain to solve every health problem. At the same time, do not dismiss a plant simply because it has been used in traditional medicine for centuries. Good healthcare combines reliable scientific evidence with thoughtful, informed decisions. If you choose to use medicinal plants, select high-quality products, avoid replacing proven medical treatment for serious illnesses, and remember that natural remedies deserve the same careful and responsible approach as any other health intervention. Plantain has accompanied humanity for thousands of years. It has never become a universal cure, and it has never been just an ordinary weed. Instead, it remains a fascinating plant that reminds us how much there is still to learn about the natural world.